Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, karibu sana. If this is your first time ever seeing me, my name is Wamboi. I'm a Kenyan. I was born and raised in Kenya. I am campus. So I've moved around this country so much. I've been to Kisumu, I've been to Mombasa, I've been to Nairobi, I've been to Meru, I've been to Embu, name them Nyeri, name them Laikipia, in all of these places. And that's why I feel like I have so much information on how women are being treated in this country. So as you can see from the topic, today I'm talking about misogyny. Yesterday, let me check on the date. Yesterday was on 9th of November 2025, and people in Africa, people all over Africa, and mostly women, they were having a purple heart on their profile picture, and people were dropping yellow hearts just to be able to honor women who have gone through gender-based violence. And to me, I didn't put the purple heart, but I felt it's just nice for me to post this video because I have lived, I don't have so many years, but for the years that I've lived, I have experienced the worst gender-based violence on people I know, people who are neighbors, people who are friends. And I want to talk about gender-based violence. To me, what gender-based violence means to me, it means just men, because I know it's happening even both ways. I know these days even women are being violent to the men, but mostly and especially when I talk about this, I'm talking about Africa in general, because most African countries believe in men disciplining their women, which is very bad. And to me, it's very heavy for me. It's very heavy for me to talk about this, because if you're experiencing something at a personal level, maybe it's somebody that you know, maybe it's somebody that you can, maybe it's your parent who is going through this. For me, I see gender-based violence as just men being misogynist towards their women, okay? Because over the years, from grandfathers and great-grandfathers, they have passed down, especially in Africa, and let me talk about Kenya, they have passed down the cycle of men being able to discipline their women, okay? So let's say your woman just did a mistake, something that you can talk about, but because you are a man who was born in a patriarchal society, and you believe that women should be disciplined, you believe that women belong to a lower social status. And for me, it's just so wrong for a man to beat up their women, because if you as a man, you don't want somebody to punish you when you do something wrong, why would you love somebody so much to just beat them when they offend you rather than talking? And to me, it's very heavy to talk about this, because I grew up in a society, or even in a neighborhood, where it used to be common to just from nowhere there's a scream, and then maybe it's the neighbor next door, the man is beating the woman. So that is just a little bit of the backstory to what I'm talking about. But I want to read to you guys. I know you know the meaning of misogyny, but let me just read to you. Misogyny is hatred of contempt for or prejudice against women or girls. It's a form of sexism that can keep women at a lower social status than men, thus maintaining the social roles of patriarchy. Misogyny has widely been practiced for thousands of years, and I know even the other society, I know even the Western society, I know there's also misogyny, but I particularly feel that the men that we have had over the years in Africa, and let me talk about Kenya, and personally I come from the community of Kikuyu. I feel like these men, they have practiced from one generation to another hatred towards women. Because what would you explain when you hear, let's say a father telling a son that you have to discipline them so that they can be disciplined? And I feel like the whole story of gender-based violence have been passed from one generation to another. Because if you as a son, you saw your father beating your mother, I feel like to you it will just feel right for you to beat your wife. And I feel for most men is also a way of it's kind of like they are revenging for their mothers, because I feel like it's so heavy for boys to see their mothers being beaten by their fathers. So I feel like even in the next life, they just want to do that, because they are like, if my mother had to go through that, who do you think you are? You also should go through that. And for me, this video, I'm making it with a very heavy heart to say that gender-based violence should not be normalized. And if you're watching me and you're a young person going through gender-based violence, please don't let that happen to you. It's not okay. It's not okay to be beaten. It's not okay to be emotionally manipulated by anybody. It's not okay for you to accept violence as part of the punishment that you're supposed to be given. If anything, you are an adult and the other person who you're married to, they are adults, so you guys can converse. And if you disagree, I think people should just go their separate ways. If you disagree, there is no justification to gender-based violence. And I am making this video on the 10th of November in honor of yesterday, 9th of November, where women across Africa were spreading the awareness of let's say no to gender-based violence. It's so surprising that in the year 2025 there are women who are going through gender-based violence. I keep saying this, people like me who are raised by good women, now we decide not to be good women anymore. We know, personally, I feel it deep down. That's why you keep hearing me say that, like, I will not have children if I don't have the capacity to raise them. I will not have children just to fulfill the societal's expectation. And if anything, I will not have a child so that I can fulfill the patriarchy, because patriarchy is the one that is saying that if a woman doesn't give birth, especially in Africa, you hear the stories of, like, if a woman doesn't give birth, if a woman doesn't have a child, that they are just some bunch of nonsense and they have nothing to say. I refuse to believe in that, because I have the right to my body, because all these years. And that's why for me it's very heavy to just realize that the society made me to feel the way I feel towards, like, having children, towards, like, marriage. So my stand with marriage is marriage is a good thing, as far as, like, you guys are being respectful to each other. I feel like marriage is a good thing because you guys give each other companion, you support each other emotionally. But marriage should not be licensed to entire suffering for your whole life. So I also, for me, I believe in traditional roles because I've seen the way it serves. Because I have seen the way it serves. The men go to look for the money to provide, or the resources to provide. Like in the ancient days before the introduction of money, men used to go to hunt so that they can provide for the women, and the women used to cook the food that these men brought. These days it's just a man inside the house not doing anything. He's sleeping the whole day, and you as a woman, you go to hunt, you go to look for the money, and you come and provide for a man who is in bed. And just after all that, this man ends up beating you up. So this is just an awareness to you. If you're going through, like, gender-based violence, I know it's not easy to come out, but I want you to know that it's not okay for you to go through that. It's not okay. It's okay for you it's okay for you to be the black sheep. It's okay for you to say no to these things that they want us to do. Because for me, I say no to having children if I don't have the capacity to bring them up. I will not bring children to go through the same things that I've gone through as a person. I will not bring children to just carry on the legacy of poverty to the next generation. I will not bring children just to please the society. Because as a woman, I own myself, and I own my opinions, and my opinions do matter. So the other topic that I want to talk about, I want to talk about, like, the way in Africa mostly, like, you as a woman, you give birth to sons, and now these sons, you're supposed to exclusively cook for them because they are the special. You're just raising them to be the future men, so you don't teach them the basic work. Let me tell you that around me is not entertained. Actually, I don't cook. I am so sorry. I come from a family of boys, and one of the rules that I do have as a person is, like, I'm not gonna cook when you're sitting down. Because what do you mean that, like, I'm going to struggle to look for the money to do all of that, and because I'm your mother and you're a boy, you have to wait for me to come and cook for you? So I feel that is also setting men for failure. And if you have a boy child, just teach them the same roles that you teach your girls. There's not, we should have equality. Even though I advocate for, like, I like and I admire what the traditional system was doing, men going to look to be the providers, and the women just being feminine out there cooking and just relaxing. But you see, these days, I'm so sorry, but, like, I think we cannot do that anymore. There are still men who are good and they are providers and they are not abusers, but most of the men, I think they are abusers, and the moment you just surrender and they are taking care of you, they just will abuse you in any form and way. But I have to say that, like, do what you gotta do to get out of that situation. And for you as a mother, don't do that to your sons. Don't teach them to be queens, to be kings. Teach them to be men. Teach them to grow up to be men of substance. Because what do you mean that, like, somebody, you're a man, your woman is not at home, like, you have to wait for her to come and cook for you? What do you mean? What type of yeah? And I know that is very common in Africa. Like, you see, you're sick, and now your man is just sitting up there, putting his feet on top of the table for you to come and cook for him. That is so wrong. That is so wrong. And I can just go back and forth with this topic. And this, I'm talking from personal experiences and what I've seen around me. And that is one of the things that I dislike about the village, because the village mostly have. Villagers mostly have the mentality of, like, women are lower class citizens, women deserve the worst, they are supposed to come next, they are supposed to be the ones that are serving others. Okay, don't even get me worked up on this. Because what do you mean? Who gets to serve this woman? Okay, she gets to attend to everybody in the family. She gets to provide for the men, to cook for the men in the family. Who cooks for her? Who cooks for her? It's really not good. And as far as we're talking about gender-based violence, let's talk about also misogyny. And let us be aware. Let us spread the awareness. Let us spread the awareness. It's not okay for you to be treated badly. It's okay. And this whole mentality of, like, men being kings, men being raised to be kings, is the one that you're finding. Men are being so, after their sons grow up and become grown-ups, they end up disrespecting their mothers because of the way they have seen their fathers conduct themselves. And with this, you find out that like these sons have grown up with the mentality of like, you know what, my mother is nothing, because that's how the father normally treats the mother. It's really so wrong, and I think I'm getting so sensitive with this topic lately, because around me I can just see a lot of misogynists around me, and with me I don't play around. I don't care who you are to me. uh, for me that is really heavy. Just seeing what women have had to go through over the years is really saddening, and I just hope we are the last generation to ever witness that. I hope our children don't get to witness that. And if you're in a situation that is like not working for you, please move on. And that is what I had to talk about today. But I have a lot of other things that I have to talk about in regards to patriarchy and gender-based violence. But my only thing is, like, nobody will come to save you from that situation that you're in. You know what you're going through, because looking back to the experiences that I have had, and with the experiences of the women that I've known, I wish they walked away. I wish they walked away and they just started their life, because that makes them to be so broken, and that also breaks your children, because your children seeing you being abused is not cool. Your children seeing you being emotionally abused, being physically abused, and all of these things, it doesn't help any. So if you're in any situation that is abused, please walk away. And if you liked this video, please consider subscribing, and until next time, bye bye.